So yesterday we talked about the 104% tariff on China. And
Came true.
Yeah. I would say we weren't sure on the math on that because it's like...
Because it's, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
104%.
And when we first heard about it, we're like, is it real, right?
Is it multiply or just plus? But it turns out it was plus.
It is now past midnight, so the tariffs are in effect. I'm curious to hear from people, around the country. Where have you seen price increases? So this is my understanding of it. If there are goods already in the USA, no increase on goods already in the USA. So any good like crossing the border now will have a tariff. So something I wouldn't know exactly is, for example, you just had a product order from Amazon or Temu or whatever, and it's like sitting at the airport, basically at customs. It's like if suddenly you get an email and they'll charge you, because certainly new stuff coming in, but your order has already arrived in USA. So
I don't know.
I mean, it has to cross the border, but it could be like a holding bin. You know what I mean?
But if you bought already, like the day before start the tariff, you already paid.
Yeah.
So those kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know. That's what because people were saying we haven't seen a statement from the customs department yet, and they could issue one shortly. One thing I thought was really funny is that people who are going to make a lot of money are the customs and duties brokers.
Oh.
So what it is like companies when they bring stuff in, they'll have it's kind of like an accountant. We'll figure out all the tariff situation. So that's what it is. What's some of the news from Korea?
So the government's gonna support, some company hit by the tariff.
Right.
So for example, car industry is really big. Not just that, a lot of small companies who hit by the tariff, they're gonna support them.
I see. So now remember what's going on is that Trump is putting a tax basically on all these foreign products. You're going to pay the tax. Also, to be fair, the American company's going to pay a tax, right? So the importing company. Now, why would Koreans support, say, local business? So, for example, like a Kia or Hyundai, I think 50% of their exports.
Car industry, they export a lot to USA.
Yeah, like half, like really a lot of cars, right? So if the cost of Kia are a lot, then consumers just aren't going to buy. Trump's bet would be maybe consumers choose American cars first. That's one way you do tariffs, but there's a big ripple effect in the economy, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. My understanding is even if car factories in USA, but a lot of parts of cars from outside of USA, right? Even Tesla, they don't make every part of Tesla in the USA.
Right. Yeah.
So not just Hyundai, Honda, those kind of cars prices going up. Probably Tesla price is gonna go up too.
Yeah, you're actually bringing up a good point because I just mentioned Kia brand, the support for Kia, but Kia could theoretically also just manufacture parts that could be used and also all the little companies connected to the auto industry, like ones that make whatever small battery component that you necessarily haven't heard of. Or here, we have big companies like POSCO. Basically, kind of things. You can actually trade POSCO on the market, but so it's not a small company, but just you probably haven't heard of it. There's just a bunch of companies in the supply chain that are affected, and you're right. The many American cars or American brands is a better way to say it, use a lot of foreign parts.
Yeah, even for example, iPhone, they're using LG display.
Yeah, that's a really good example. Someone was mentioning, and there's different ways you want to think about it, Apple's an American company, yes. All the parts come from all over the place. If theoretically in some magical land, because this is what the Trump plan is to build, the iPhone completely in USA, maybe you'd have a $4,000 iPhone at that point. I mean,
because there's no reason to buy iPhone.
Well, you could argue any phone because if you make everything entirely in the USA, just the costs skyrocket.
Yeah, and I think if that really happens, there's some sort of black market is gonna, gonna trade something.
So black market stuff, I'll give you guys an example. We used to live in Shenzhen. And if you don't know, Hong Kong and mainland China are separated. And so what people would do is they would go buy stuff in Hong Kong and then try to get it into Shenzhen, basically a black market. And so there's this footbridge that people would cross over, and they like tape phones to their bodies and crap. The point is, like, at borders, you'll see this stuff. So there's a world, for example, actually it is real, where people were there's a black market, egg market from Mexico to USA. So people are like sneaking in eggs. So
now it's sneaking iPhone.
iPhone and eggs are going to be sneaking in theoretically from Mexico, because, like, okay, even though Apple or any company in USA that has foreign parts will have a tariff, we can still buy iPhones.
Sure.
But we're not going to be tariffed because we're not.
Yeah, because we're not.
We're buying from the American company now. But here's the but.
They're selling cheaper here.
What's that? Oh, you mean in the future?
Yeah. So
theoretically,
USA brand in Korea. I don't know.
Oh, I mean right now?
Yeah. No, not.
Wait,
not right now.
What do you mean by cheaper here? You mean right or later? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Theoretically, in the future, iPhones and MacBooks and all this stuff could be theoretically cheaper here to the end consumer. It'll be cheaper to us because we're not.
Even Starbucks is cheaper here because we don't have tariff on coffee bean.
Right. Actually, our life's not that bad. but we're all connected. So why are we connected? Because, okay, if I work in a Korean company like a Hyundai, and it turns out that Americans aren't going to buy cars so much anymore because the costs are too high, that hurts sales here, and then people don't have jobs here. Like, we're connected. Or, for example, let's say they're not going to buy a car, okay, right? But they don't have any money because all their money is going to Walmart. Or, we got to make this really clear because I know it gets confusing. The tax, it's a tax, basically. Yeah. Trump is taxing foreign goods, so like basically everything in Walmart will go up in price, right? So it's a tax. China's not paying a tax, you're paying the tax, right? So you basically have less money in your pocket.
So even if you have the same money, but everything's prices go up.
Right.
You have to choose what you really need right now.
Right.
First gonna be food.
Yeah, you're still gonna buy food. It's gonna cost more, but you're gonna buy it.
Just food, I think. Just food is everything, I guess. Yeah. After you grocery, this money is gone. So no travel, no car, no vacation,
And then that just slows down everything, right? So this is why markets are crashing. And if you have to understand like how the market works, it's all about projection of what future profits are going to be. So when markets are crashing, that means all the companies are like, I don't think we're making any money. Right?
The U.S. government expected, if you don't have money, you can work long hours, don't sleep, no, meal break, just keep working. Yeah, and
what Yeji's referring to is in Florida, they want to roll back child labor laws. This is, it's in the news today. Some kind of crazy proposals. So basically is the rules are now, I think the rules are now like if you're in school, let's say high school or something, you can't work before 6:30 a.m. and you can't work after 11 p.m., right? So basically we want kids to be able to sleep. If you repeal those kind of laws, then I guess we'll have kids working at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, whatever.
40 years ago, like 50 years ago.
No, it's way longer.
Policy.
I'd have to look back at child labor laws. Like for us, it would be like maybe 100 years ago, we'd have kids working in factories, these kind of things. The argument that Florida is making of why we need to take away child labor laws is because if we're going to kick out all of the illegal immigrants, then we need cheap labor to work all of these factories and stuff like that. So hey, why not high school students and children? That's the idea. It's in Florida. They're trying to push that through. It seems crazy, and there's also a really big debate and discussion on the nature of our modern economy. So when I was in college, part of the debate that people were having was sweatshops.
What is sweatshop?
So sweatshop would be like, what it was is people sweating in a factory. So say sweatshop, but it also had to do with like sweatshirts. So college sweatshirts were made in Vietnam, China, these kind of places, I see. Where workers work really long hours. Yeah. And so many students at the time were like, I don't want my university to build all of our or make all of our clothes for the university at a sweatshop, at a low paid place in another country. That was it when I was in college. I don't think college students care because the whole culture these days is like a lot of people do drop shipping, which is the idea is you have someone built in China, you do it all electronically, you just sit home on your computer and just type, and then you just sell it to other Americans. So it's based on cheap labor, but that's part of the capitalism system. What's that?
I don't know it's gonna work because it's in Korea, you know, the young people keep complaining we don't have enough jobs, blah, blah, blah. But actually, something, you know, like farming and fishing, those kind of factory, they always need more people.
Right.
So they cannot find people, even if they pay a little bit more than, you know, the lowest pay, they more than that, they give more than that. So they have to hire the foreign worker.
Yeah, whenever
young people don't want to work at those kind of jobs.
Yeah, whenever we go to the water, you've noticed
fishing,
it. I think they could be from Indonesia, maybe Vietnam.
I don't know. I was really
They're not Korean though.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because people have asked about this, like how's the situation in Korea? Yeah, there's a lot of foreign labor here, and they do construction jobs too. So like fisher jobs, like building all the buildings and stuff like that.
So these days, you know, construction place, they have to have a safety law, you know, right?
Yeah.
So they have multiple languages these days.
Yeah. And then on top of that, which is kind of interesting with the change in culture in Korea, is we have a lot of Vietnamese restaurants these days. Like really a lot. You know, it's just that's just part of, you know, the culture change, because you have a lot of Koreans who go for tourism vacation in Vietnam, and then, you know, they say, hey, I love the food here, and then they'll figure out ways to import Vietnamese coffee, which is really good. Like we're all connected, but it's a complicated issue, because if the U.S. modern economy is based on effectively cheap labor and the stock market combined, right? Because the stock market, when you have the sort of a modern American economy, or well, it's not just American, but a modern economy where everyone can buy, you know, stocks and you know, buy shares of holding companies, like a lot of the economy is based on, well, one is gambling, to borrow money, and then future projections. What's that?
I just have a you know, curious that even if, you know, Trump says I want 50% on China, something like that, even if he's just saying that, they can actually make it happen.
Make what happen? What do you mean?
Like even if he, you know, says something, Trump says something, 50% on China, maybe you know, 25% Korea. So if he says so, it just became true.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of he can just raise tariffs whatever he wants, because that's part of every office has a different, you know, powers of things that they can do. So they can just raise tariffs. They can just raise it. Yeah, I know it seems crazy. Oh, you don't think in Korea they can do that?
I don't think so. Even if our president says, oh, I want more tax on that, I think they don't have power.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. So in the American government, they're trying to come up with new laws to limit his power.
Sure.
Because it seems kind of crazy. But usually people don't try this kind of stuff, so it doesn't come up.
And
but
it was just funny that he says that, you know, I can do one-stop shopping, right, in the same table. So he's treating like it's like shopping, like VIP shopping. Negotiate with, you know, other countries.
Oh, yeah. Someone mentioned that with the Trump, because he's a former real estate person, he's treating our country like a real estate open house. You know. Do you guys know how, like, you have like a model home in a way, and all these people go come and
no,
look?
I felt
What's
like
that?
You
not
know,
like that. What's that?
The new just VIP when they do the shopping, they're just sitting the VIP room. So everyone brings the, you know, product, and you choose. You're sitting in the room, VIP room.
Well, that's more like Trump wants to be treated like king on Game of Thrones,
just like
right?
that.
And, you know, the person comes, you know, next person. Yeah,
skip.
What's your offer that you have to serve our leads, President Trump? So from a you know, another perspective outside the USA, because we're in Korea, I'll give you one. In the headlines just minutes ago, Vietnam is making a deal with Spain.
Yeah, they shake hands.
Yeah, they shake hands. For real, it was Vietnam and Spain. They're saying we're going to do free trade, security agreement, whatever. The point is there's other countries out there, right?
Yeah, a lot of other countries.
And one thing you have to think about as well is, like, Vietnam has a large population, India has a large population, Brazil has a large population, China, etc. As other countries develop, they're going to develop markets to where they're going to be buying all sorts of goods. And if, say, for example, in the USA, if someone like Trump just sends the economy in a tailspin, no one has any money, they're not the only place to, you know, sell products to, right? Hyundai theoretically could start exporting, you know, cars to Vietnam one day. So I don't know, just Trump's not making a very good decision.
Yeah, and I just saw our main news that the Homeland Security person, the charge of Homeland Security, the woman, she's like holding a gun, but it wasn't proper way, right?
Right. So the basic idea is like Trump just picks incompetent people, right? They can't even hold a gun properly. Remember, I always use the professional wrestling one, or the professional wrestling CEO is in charge of our education department. That's real. It's like you can't make this stuff up. And then he just picks people that have all been on Fox News, on TV.
Regarding what's that? Fun of those kind of people.
Oh yeah. Regarding in China, the local Chinese government is looking to support their companies. So they're doing a couple things, which is interesting. So it was reported like 100 Chinese companies are going to buy back their own stock to support the market. Now, it wasn't reported, but there's not dealings, but how do you say it? Like government orders basically can put pressure to, you better buy back your own stock. You better support our markets, because if market crashes, everyone panics, essentially. And the reason why they do that is because any market could do this. Yeah. Once someone starts selling, like they just start selling, then everyone starts selling. Oh, I heard they're going to sell. I heard they're going to sell. And you try to, sell before everyone else sells. And, market crashes are actually a really thing. And we have a I don't know if crash is the right word, we'll just say people are selling off bonds. They don't want to hold U.S. debt. They just want cash. And I've been seeing that report the last couple of days.
Yeah, even
what's that?
I talked to my friends that not holding a cash or just buy the gold bar.
Yeah, some people are buying cash or buying cash. Yeah, cash. Some people are just buying a bunch of gold. I mean, in any of these things, the best advice is just like diversify. Don't do all of one thing, right? Don't go 100% cash. Don't go 100% gold. Don't sell all your stuff. Try to have some measures. But I would say, in my opinion, don't take a lot of risk. So that's why, for example, some of the hedge funds, they say they're de-leveraging, de-risking. That means they they bought a bunch of money basically to buy a bunch of risky stuff and just get out of it. And then the last thing I'll say is, from Trump's point of view politically, he keeps saying he's not going to change his mind. So he's put us in a bad spot, because if he keeps the situation the way it is, it'll get worse. There'll be a trade war and keep going up.
And even
what's that?
Even if he said, I'm gonna Trump on you build a factory in our country, but you can say no. For example, Japan said we don't have money, so you're not gonna build a factory.
Yeah, that was in Japan's statement today. They said the whole situation is regrettable. They kind of say it politely, regrettable, and they're basically saying with the Trump tariffs, we don't have much money to invest in anything. So what are you talking about? Now, I just want to make it clear. The tariff, though, it's not because Japan is paying the tariff necessarily. It's because it raises the cost of everything. Because remember, it's a tax. Trump wants just to collect a bunch of money, and for parties, say the Republicans, who are always like, we love low taxes, want to cut taxes for everyone. I mean, you're raising taxes by the headlines today. The tariffs are the most in 100 years. So this is like a once in 100-year kind of situation that we're seeing. And that's why a lot of us, we don't know if we should laugh, cry, laugh and cry at the same time. That's what it feels like. I guess one eye is laughing and the other eye is crying.
No, we say you're crying, but your mouth is smiling.
Oh, is that what we say? My mouth is smiling, but I'm crying. That's exactly how we feel. All right, so I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time. So bye.